This is my son. It's actually my son. Like in real life, it's my son. Hey, honey,
Yeah.
could you do me a favor and let whoever's out in, which is Tonka and Martin, and let Billy out for me?
Sure.
Thank you. But he is my son, and people are, I'm sure people are saying, no, he can't be your son. He's a pigeon. Well, he is my son. Let me let his mother out. I'll show you his mother. Hang on. Remy, come here. Explain everything to everybody here. Remy, come on out, dude. Do that. Come on, Rem. Let's go. There's Solar's mother. I let her out. Now, what happened? What happened was that here's Solar's mother. This is Remy, also known as my pigeon wife. Now, Remy came to me. She was 6 days old. She was injured. A friend of mine who's a vet was in Mexico and said that a friend of hers found a pigeon, a baby pigeon. Could I take the pigeon, which is Remy, and keep it alive until she got back, and then she would take over? Well, so I did, and then within 3 or 4 days, I loved Remy, and I'm like, Remy, you can stay with me if you live. And so Remy's been with me ever since. Remy's very sweet. So me and Remy raised Solar. This is a fact. We hatched Solar. It takes two pigeons to hatch an egg. So Remy did most of the work. She did 90% of it, and then the other time I would hold it, keeping it warm. Now, the temperature that you have to keep the egg at for a pigeon is about 98 degrees, which is convenient. So she probably keeps it a little bit warmer, but it wouldn't get cold when I was, you know what I'm saying? But I dipped down a little bit, but it was enough to hatch Solarton. Now, how we got the egg, it was not Remy's egg. It was not Rem's egg. It was a bird by the name of Chip. It was her egg, and she has passed away since then. It was Chip and Casper's egg, and we had been upstate. Are you going somewhere?
Post office.
Oh, you're gonna mail that? Okay, we'll see you in a bit. And we had been upstate, and we went back down to the art studio, and Chip landed on a metal plate, and right away she laid an egg. Now she wasn't going to be able to nest there, so birds will do that. A lot of times they'll be sort of just out in a yard or whatever, and they'll lay an egg, in an inappropriate place and just leave it. So I knew that wasn't going to be hatched, so I took it and I showed it to Remy, and Remy started dancing around, sort of like she's doing right now, getting all excited. And I put it down on the bed where Remy would lay eggs on our bed. She'd sleep on the bed with me. She'll sleep on the bed with me by my face. So I knew if I put the egg on the pillow, Remy ran right over to it and started sitting on it. So with this egg, I helped Remy, and we ended up with Solarton. Solar, his name is Solar because he was born on the solar eclipse. It was a weird day, I'll tell you that, seeing my son being born. And I do feel that he's my son because I did help hatch him. The longest that I'd hold the egg in a day would be 5 or 6 hours, something like that. That was the longest. But I was always holding it for 4 hours, something like that. Remy needed to take a break, and it takes two two pigeons to, you know, be able to do this. So I was the other pigeon. So this is Solarton, my son, who is a lot like me. He is. He likes to wrestle. He's always trying to, you know, see, that's him. He's trying to like start something. If you have a bird that does this, it doesn't mean that they dislike you. It means that they like you, because they're not afraid of you. There's nothing to be afraid of. He's known me since day one. Now, I wasn't feeding him on the first day. Remy did everything. I remember when Solar was born, like Remy was stimulating Solar by taking, Remy's right over here, taking her beak and running it along Solar's wing. I was flipped out. Solarton was so small, he could fit in a teaspoon. That's how small he was. And here's Remy doing that. And I'm like, well, she's a pigeon. She knows what she's doing. Remy was a great mother, which Solar hooked up with, not his, it would be a biological sister, Optimus. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. But, you know, they're not from the same nest, so is it really, is it incest? It's a pigeon. But they were terrible parents, so they're sort of separated. Hey, Bucket, get out of that room. Buck, get over here. This is my cat. But so they weren't good parents, so they don't hang out. It's less stress on the birds if I keep the males and females apart, because pigeons will just keep like laying eggs and they'll brood the whole time. So it's less stress on them if they're just sort of separated, and so that's how I keep it now. Hemiwinkle, I have another male pigeon, Hemiwinkle, and he hangs out in Sam's room most of the time, my raven. And then there's two other females, Optimus, that was like his, not really his sister, but biologically they would be related, and they were bad parents. Hangs out with Remy and another really friendly bird named Chaga. And he likes Chaga. He does. I could go get Chaga. You want me to go get Chaga? Let me go get Chag. And so he's a dirty dog. He was hooked up with his sister for 1.5 years, 2 years, and then like if I bring Chaga around, watch, he won't leave the area. He's gonna like watch this. Let me see if I can get Chaga. Chaga and Remy get along real good. Bucket, what are you doing? Let me get Chaggy. Where's Chaga? Chaggy, where are you? Chag, come on down, baby. Come here. Chaggy. Come on, Chag. Chag, look who it is. It's Solar. Chaggy. I was gonna have you on the live stream, but you're being a dick. Chaga was being very uncooperative. Very bad, Chaga. Bad, Chaggy. You coming down here? I'm not gonna play any games, Chag. Come down if you want. That was very rude of Chaga. Chaga was screwing with me. She was screwing with me. But so Chaga the other day, like usually she's very cooperative. But Chaga the other day, like I opened the door and Solar ran in and was like, doing it with her within a second. Something like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Demuncha. What? Thank you, Mark. But she is real friendly. I might be able to go to the door and see if she wants to cooperate now. But she just didn't want to do it. Probably because I had this monster in my hands. It's like my son. He's a small wiry pigeon that likes to fight. Solarton. He's a ginger. I'm not a ginger. I love him though. He's really great. He eats seeds and Harrisons. All the pigeons eat sort of the same thing, seeds and Harrisons. There's a bowl in there for the cat, Bucket, and Mango, and whatever. Like if there's another dog coming through that area, and he'll take a bath in the dog bowl. I saw some kind of message, but I don't know what it was. But let me see if I can get Chaga. I think she's by the door. Chaggy, what are you doing? I'm not coming up there. She's playing games. She's just messing with my head. Yeah, she's just messing with my head. So, well, anyway, I just wanted everybody to meet my son Solarton. He's bitching. He is. He's a great bird. He hangs out down here mostly. Have you ever had a pigeon pluck like... No, they don't really do that. I've never really seen that. That's sort of like a parrot thing. I don't really see that in soft bills. I only see that in hook bills pretty much. Silver asshole bird's worst is a yellow-headed macaw. Oh, really? You got a macaw? I thought about a macaw. What's the most recent raven? What are you talking about? Sam the raven? He's upstairs. What's the most recent raven? That's not making any sense. No, I don't. And, don't make jokes about stuff like that. These are family members. You do stuff like that, you get removed from my channel. I just put you in a timeout, but I'm not doing that. And I'm gonna say this right now. If anybody says anything negative about any of my animals, me, anybody in this chat, my girlfriend Katya, anything about Katya, you're banned. You say anything negative about any type of anyone. You don't like a group of people? You say anything like that on my channel, I ban you. You say something racist, I ban you. You're not doing that here. Grow up. That's not even grow up. It's like, don't do it. Solar is a good boy. You keep the chat moderated. Yeah, there's some of the moderators that are really, they know. I'd rather have people gone, when in doubt, get rid of them. Bucket, what are you doing? In Solarton, he smells a little bit like soap. Pigeons don't smell. Like if you went and got a, they're not really stinky, but if you went and got like you go, I would buy pigeons from, like to work with dogs. Solarton, that's right. And from like a poultry place, like they smell because they've been like in feces, and these birds don't smell. They don't smell at all. Pigeons make great pets. They're very smart. They're stable. They're a stable bird. Unlike where you make any of your art available as prints. You can find them online on Teespring. You can buy prints like that. They're not signed prints, but they're prints. I have been thinking about selling signed, but that's going to be a huge cost increase than like Teespring. If I sign something, it's going to be a lot more expensive. But they make great pets because they're stable. Like if like like a parrot, like if you move something around in a room, it flips them out. The same thing's true with Sam the Raven. If you have a parrot and your parrot stays in a cage some of the time, and then you put a different painting behind the cage, it'll flip the parrot out. Like if the parrot's out, then it doesn't want to go back in the cage. You just grow up, man. Just grow up. Just grow up. You're not doing that here, okay? You're not doing that here. You're not saying that kind of shit on my channel. And there's moderators that, if I don't see it, which I just figured out how to do this on the phone. I figured out how to hide and time out users by live streaming on this phone, which I didn't know how to do it last night. I would have been doing it more last night. Don't worry about it, Toxic. If Toxic sees it, you're gone. If Pachinko sees it, you're gone. If any of those people see any of that, is that your hobby? Just to go say rude things? What's your problem, dude? These animals live with me. They're my pets. You might think it's funny that it's my son, but I held the egg. It was a lot of work, and it was a lot of stress, okay? It was a lot of stress. So, don't make a joke about it, because I care a great deal for Solar and everybody else that lives here. Somebody said, robins are protected species. You can't keep a robin. I had robins. One of them made it to outside. How many doggos do you have now? What is training? In training, there's 2. I forgot. I was so pissed off that somebody would say something like that. No, your own. Why do you care about how many dogs I own? I'm not in Brooklyn. I can have about as many as I want here. Probably more than you, but less than most dog trainers. Dog whisperers have a lot of dogs. I don't have that many. I don't. Cardinals are cool too. Yeah, they are. Why are you so rude? Why are you so rude? Oh, I got it too. Yeah, we don't need you. We don't need you, kid. Cardinals are cool. Some of those songbirds are great. I like the robins. They'll be back. There's going to be some robin making a nest. I'll tell you who's bad parents are starlings. I had watch you painting in a live stream. I've done that before. Um, uh, do dogs need vitamins on raw diet? Yes and no. I would recommend giving them a vitamin every now and then, like maybe. Um, I use a human vitamin, but break it into a smaller amount, depending on the size of the dog, and I don't give it daily. I'll start doing that. But see, they were on they were on pet food because of the pandemic. I switched them to pet food. I didn't think that I'd be able to get chicken, and pet food is full of vitamins. So I'm not too worried about it right now, but I will start giving everybody a vitamin soon. And how I do that is like I'll split like a, say for like a 75-pound dog, I'll split like a Centrum vitamin and then I'll put it in like a little piece of hamburger and then just give everybody one of those. Depending, I wouldn't give half of a Centrum vitamin to like mango. It's too small. So I'd give it size appropriately. Your main concern with raw diet is that if you're giving a bone-in chicken diet, then you don't have to worry about calcium. But that would be the main problem is that people will just start giving raw meat without bone in it. So if you give beef or steak or something, you have to add calcium, or you'll screw up the calcium phosphorus level. So that's your main issue there with raw diet, and it freaks a lot of vets out because, I'll have a dog here. I'll switch it over on raw diet. This has happened in the past, and then the dog goes home, and I said, "Well, how's the raw diet going?" And they said, "Yeah, it's great, man. I bought ground turkey from the store the other day. He loved it, but she's got diarrhea." Well, you didn't add calcium, did you? People hear what they want to hear. They don't want to deal with bone-in chicken, so they think that it's the same thing, just to get ground turkey. I had somebody that I stopped dealing with, because I was very specific about it. I was like, give them bone-in chicken. And then what he did was he went to the grocery store, he got a bunch of chicken, said to the butcher, like, I want this ground up. Just the guy came back with just ground chicken, like 5 minutes later. He didn't grind that chicken up. He just brought back ground chicken that had already been ground. And then the dog had diarrhea. I told him, like, don't do that. Don't go to, like, Tops or something. They're not gonna grind up chicken. You'd have to be bone in the chicken. You'd have to be very specific. It'd say, I want the bone ground up in it, and I don't know if they'll do it. And you don't use you want to use chicken from the bigger like factory farms, because the chicken eggs are inoculated for salmonella, so you're not going to have salmonella. It's not going to be an issue. But you do want to give a vitamin. I would recommend it. You don't want any vitamin deficiencies in the dog. Do you have to do it daily? No, you don't have to do it daily. But you wouldn't want to do it. But worry about the calcium mostly. Calcium is your main concern with raw diet with your dog, your cat, a raven. Does bone ground up help with calcium? Yeah, that's what bone is. It's calcium. Let me go over it again. If your bones are calcium, bones in poultry are hollow, so it's easy for the dog to chew up, right? But if you had a puppy, you wouldn't want to give them bone-in chicken because their teeth are too small they don't have enough muscles to really grind it up. They'll get enteritis. So you would take that chicken with the bone in, and then you would grind it or smash it up with a hammer real good. Now, you've heard that your dog shouldn't eat chicken bones. They should not eat cooked bones of any kind, because cooked bone is an irritant to your cat. Bone meal is cooked bone, and bone meal is in pet food. That's why you see dogs on pet food have diarrhea a lot of times. You feed them a little bit too much pet food, and it's an irritant to the dog. Okay? But you know, if you could use bone meal, I just don't recommend that you do. Use calcium citrate, but if you're going to add calcium, you want to get calcium. Listen to me, this is very important. Yes, that's why you don't give cooked bones of any kind. You give raw bones, because that's how nature designed it. Dog eats raw bones. Somebody was saying something about antlers. Antlers are something that I give a puppy for a pacifier. Cats need calcium too. Same thing. So that either they're going to eat bone-in chicken, but it's a cat, so it's a smaller animal, so you might want to smash it up. Help the, they wouldn't naturally, a domestic cat wouldn't be eating a chicken leg quarter. They would eat a smaller type of bird or a rodent. So you want to smash that up, but you want to use, this is very important, I'm going to tell you this. You want to use calcium without D3 in it. If you use D3, vitamin D3, it's not water soluble, it's fat soluble, and it'd be too much for your dog on a daily basis. Okay? It would build up in your dog and make your dog very sick. So you do not want to use calcium with D3 in it. You just want plain old calcium, calcium citrate, whatever they have. Somebody once asked me, they said, what's the best kind of calcium? Calcium. It's calcium. There isn't a better or worse. You just want calcium without D3 in it. There isn't a brand of calcium that's going to be better than another brand. When you buy the pill form of calcium, calcium citrate without D3 in it, by the way, it assimilates easier in the dog than like bone or bone meal. The best would be pulverized raw bones. Not necessarily. If you don't have the right ratio, you need the correct bone to protein ratio. The way that you can accomplish that is by getting raw chicken leg quarters only that cut of meat, because it's going to have the proper amount of bone, as long as it's a relatively large leg quarter. If they're real small, you do whatever with your eggshells. I don't care. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to talk about this. Eggshells. How many do you give your dog enough calcium? I bet you don't. I certainly hope if you're doing the eggshells, you're cooking them down so that they're broken down and smashed up. And are you giving enough? But the way that you can accomplish your dog getting enough calcium with raw diet is by giving leg quarters, chicken leg quarters. If they're real small chickens, real young chickens, meaning most chickens are slaughtered by the time that they're 2 years old, or 2 months old, not 2 years old, 2 months old. If they're slaughtered when they're 1 month old, they might not have enough calcium. Stick to that. You could also use chicken backs. Those work real good. They're very high in calcium. And also chicken feet, the chicken talons, are very high in calcium too. Hang on 1 second, will you please? I gotta do something. I had to go tell Billy to shut the fuck up. Now, I am gonna have to get going because we have stuff to do. We're gonna do laundry. I need to work with Gus. Does anybody have any questions about raw diet? Just tried it a few times to see if they would, since they heard they can eat those too as added supplement of calcium. It's all calcium. It's not gonna matter. You just want to make sure that you're. That's right, toxic, glucosamine and chondroitin. You just want to make sure that they have enough calcium, because if they don't have enough, once again, you screw up the calcium phosphorus level. If they have too much calcium, they're going to excrete that in their feces. Make sure that they have enough. So it doesn't matter if it's a dog or a cat. All the animals that eat whole other animals, dolphins, seals, dogs, cats, need a lot of calcium, at least twice as much as a human, at least, depending on the individual animal, the age of the animal. But they eat a lot more calcium than a human. Is the point that I'm trying to make. A dolphin eats a whole fish. Doesn't bone it. It eats the whole fish. Like a dog would eat the whole rabbit. See what I'm saying? So you can't give your canine hamburger without calcium. You can give them a hamburger, but you have to add calcium. If you don't, our bones are fiber. No. Fiber comes from plant material. It's a carnivore. It doesn't need much. The reason why there's fiber in your pet food is so that the pet food company can make money and just, do you understand? People don't get it. You're asking, are bones their fiber? No, it's something totally different. They just need a little bit of fiber. All right, is muscle the fiber? That's it. See, I'm not doing this. I see any ridiculous shit, I'm just banning you on my channel. I'm not doing this. Yeah, it's my artwork behind me. If you look at the bag of pet food, the pet food has all kinds of stuff in it. It's a selling point too. It's marketing. So a human sees, oh look, it has apples in it. Apples are good for humans. That doesn't mean that they're good for your dog. That's filler. That's called filler. Yes, that is JFK with the Hitler stash. It's filler so that the pet food company can make money. Now, back in the day, back in the 70s, filler, they would put more calcium in it. But it's cheaper to put fibrous plant material or starch like potatoes. But that's not really anything your dog should be eating. They shouldn't. That's not, your dog should not be on a high carb diet. That is not where they get the bulk of their energy. We get the bulk of our energy from carbs. A dog gets the bulk of their energy from protein and fat. It's nothing like you. It needs a tiny bit of fiber. So, or none. It needs a tiny bit of fiber or none. That's a fact. Okay? What would a Sasquatch eat? You know what they eat. Come on. You don't know that? Solarton, my son. Look at him. He's a freak. Where'd Remy and his mom go? So anyway, that's my talk about raw diet. Your dog should be on a raw diet. Definitely. If you have a there's solar going. If you have a dog or a cat or any animal that in the wild they eat whole raw whole other animals, they should be on something as similar as possible. So if you do add fiber to your dog's diet, you want to do that, you can add like a little bit of canned spinach. You use canned, not raw. Raw diet is referring to the raw meat and bone and fat of the diet. If you want to add plant material, say your dog is real constipated, you could add canned spinach. The reason why you add canned and not raw is because they cannot break down plant material. If you see a dog eat grass, either they're going to throw it up or they're going to poop it out, but either way, it's still going to look the same. They don't have the intestinal tract that a human has, or they don't have the multiple stomachs that a cow has, so they cannot digest plant matter. It's just a fact. So that's why you use something that's sort of pre-cooked, like canned spinach, because when a dog, when a dog, say a dog eats a rabbit, it would eat the entire rabbit, meaning its stomach contents, and its stomach contents, right, already pre-cooked in the prey animal's stomach. So to simulate that, you would use cooked spinach, meaning canned spinach. You could cook it yourself too, but that's it's just people asking just ridiculous questions. But you want to keep that to a minimum. Like if you want to give the dog a blueberry, right? If it's a large dog, 2 or 3 blueberries, okay. But they don't mean that every day. But you would want to keep it to something like that. Maybe, here's another one, bananas. You can give a dog a banana, or banana. You wouldn't give the dog a whole banana. Why would you give a dog a whole banana? You end up giving your dog bloat. That's a problem that you see with dogs with pet food. They get bloat. And it'll kill a dog. You got to take the dog to the vet immediately, and it's going to have surgery from pet food. With the raw diet, we really don't. You don't see bloat. It's not an issue because there's not all this fiber in it. Put a bunch of fiber in your dog. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's an irritant, number one. I don't give them fruit. They pick them off the trees themselves. Man, I don't want to hear your nonsense. No one is shooting wolves outside of Yellowstone because wolves are attacking apple trees, okay? I'm not saying that a dog won't eat a peach that falls on the ground, a domestic dog. They will. That's why you get your ass out there and pick them up, because the peach pits can kill your dog. So I don't want to hear your nonsense about your dog that eats blueberries off the bush. Okay? Dog food blows up. Yes, that's right. That is correct. That is correct. When your dog eats dry dog food, it has to be hydrated, and usually you see the dog drink a bunch of water after it eats the dry dog food. And then that expands inside the dog, causing bloat. It's dangerous for your dog. You should not have your dog on dog food. Also, there's many of these dog foods. They're always selling it as like this is the healthy dog food. And for the last 15 years, they've been selling grain-free dog food as that. Which I always thought was absurd. Like, why is a potato going to be any, it's ridiculous. And like rice, there's nothing wrong with rice. You could give your dog some rice, very small amount, but it's a very small amount. So they were selling this grain-free nonsense to the public, and then last year and a half ago, something like that, the FDA came out, and this was known about in the veterinary community for a while, that they were suspecting that grain-free dog food was causing cardiomyopathy in dogs. There's other things that can cause cardiomyopathy in dogs. Working them too hard can cause it. Genetics, but the grain-free dog food, there's several of them that'll cause it more often than others. They don't know if it's lentils doing. The fact of the matter is, you just shouldn't be feeding your dog pet food. It's really not that difficult to go get raw chicken at the store and feed your dog that. The one thing that I'll say is, if you're gonna do that, the dog will take the raw chicken and move it. So you want to feed the dog in a crate. And if you have a dog and you don't have a crate, then you're a fool. No, you don't give your dog carinis. Those are like gluten. Are they worth it? I don't know, dude. Are they? Obviously, your dog's on pet food because you're talking about giving your dog carinis, which are like a stick of gluten. So you don't have any problem with giving your dog a totally unnatural diet. Doesn't it make sense that you would try and give your pet the most natural diet possible that would emulate what they would eat in the wild? And if you look at wolves in captivity, they're not feeding them dog food, they're feeding them chicken. Usually they'll throw a vitamin in the chicken. But you don't have a dog because you're probably too young to own a dog. So, I don't know. But that's what zoos do. Zoos feed an appropriate diet to the animal. They're not feeding, something that would be unnatural, which would be dog food to wolves or the coyotes. They don't do that. They give a raw diet. And, the excuses for not giving a raw diet are common. One, it costs too much, which is absurd. You could get chicken, somebody was saying you can find it for 29 cents a pound. It's the truth. You could get chicken at Walmart for 69 cents a pound. So 6 dogs can be fed for, $6 a day. That's not there's always an excuse. What's the other excuse? Well, I don't want to give my dog chicken from Walmart. It has antibiotics and hormones in it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Einstein. You know why? It's because it says it on the bag. The big factory farms, they don't want to spend money on that, and they don't have to, because the eggs are inoculated before the chicken's even born so that it doesn't get ill. And within 2 months of the chicken hatching, it's being slaughtered. This is not an issue. They do not use hormones. They don't need growth hormones because birds grow at a very quick rate. This pigeon, let's say this is Solar. Solar was the size, he could fit in a teaspoon the day he was born. Within 30 days, he was this big. You see what I'm saying? So there's all, I can't tell you how much you should feed your 70-pound shepherd. Can't you figure that out yourself? I don't know. Try 1 leg quarter if it's big, okay? Try 1. A 70-pound dog, try 2, okay? Try two leg quarters. You need to, at some point, realize that you have a dog and start making decisions and understand it's a dog. If you feed it a little less, it's going to lose weight. That's an indication that the following week, try feeding it a little bit more. Don't overfeed it. You might give it diarrhea. So maybe instead of 1 leg quarter, maybe you give it a leg quarter and a half. That's what I would recommend. This isn't that difficult. It's ridiculous. What, do you look at the bag of dog food that you're using to, for how much should you feed the dog? Yeah, just adjust. You can visually tell if the dog's losing or gaining weight. Give him more or less. Do you look at the bag of dog food? It says give the dog 3 cups. So you're just like, I give it 3 exact cups? Is that what you do? I mean, seriously. It's not rocket science. When we bake bread in there, we make something. We don't use measuring cups. Just eyeball it, man. You're making a bigger deal out of this than it has to be. You can visually. A wolf can go for up to 2 weeks without making a kill. Your dog is a subspecies of the wolf. If your dog misses a meal for a day, it's fine. Make sure it has water. But if it has diarrhea, you do that anyway. You don't feed the dog, you fast the dog. You might even restrict a little water. But this nonsense of like, oh, my dog's hungry, it has to eat or whatever, like, why don't you spend your time training with your dog? Ask Toxic, she knows. She knows, she gets it. People do not train their dogs. You have to work with the dogs. You have to spend time with the dogs doing that. You cannot not work with the dogs and think that you're doing the dog any favor by getting bark box or feeding it a bag of expensive pet food. Dogs are not about convenience. There's nothing convenient about any pet. Then don't get a dog. Dogs scare you, don't get a dog, dude. You don't have to get a dog. I don't like bats. I'm not going to have a pet bat. Okay? So we're sort of even. I get it, by the way. Like, if somebody doesn't like dogs, I don't push my dogs on them. I don't want my dogs around any strangers. I want them at heel. If somebody comes up and wants to pet one of the dogs I'm with, I say, no, get away. Get away. Because at the very least, you're going to cause excitement in the dog. They're going to be conditioning something in, like, some kind of fear-based thing or excited. Don't go up and pet strangers' dogs. That's the way people get bit. We got 4 million people getting bit, and we have 4 million dogs being put down every year. I doubt your dog is very well trained, Chris. I doubt it. Maybe. If it is, good. But it's ridiculous how we treat pets in this country. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Makes no sense. I don't know. I got some stuff to do. I just wanted to show you Solarton. This is not Solar, this is Remington. This is Remy. Right, Remy? They like it when you do this. This is like an affirmation to them. If I see Remy over there, I can call her, go, Remy, here, and do this, and she'll come flying. Yeah, well, the truth. I don't believe anything that. I don't believe any. That's probably true, but that's true. You can't mistreat animals here either. But your name is the truth. I probably find that you probably make a lot of stuff up and claim that you're very truthful. I'm sorry. I'm just, that's what I think, but I could be totally wrong. Have you ever seen that, Peter? A dog wolf baiting another animal. What? Like into a fight or something? Or what do you mean? You talking about another dog or? No, they don't really hunt like that. They don't really bait animals. Hey, Not So Slim, what's going on? What's up, brother? There's a channel for you guys. They do great live streams. Not Slim One. Here, hang on. Where is he? Not Slim One. If you're looking for live streams, they're partiers over there, though. I'm just warning you. So they party a lot. Not like my wholesome channel. We're very wholesome over here. There's none of that, partaking in. You know what I'm talking about? That dubage and stuff. That doesn't go on here. Mango had a problem with that. Took all his and Marty's weed and flushed it down the toilet. Now they can't do it anymore. They're not talking to me. But that's the way it goes. Cause yeah, see, he's rolling a dubage right now. You're an adult. I can't tell you what to do, and now it's legal. So many places. I congratulate you. Maybe Not Slim One has some glaucoma or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We don't want to know. Tell you what's the worst is alcohol, though. I drank for years, and that's just. Did you train a dog to find weed for their Canadian owner? Yes. Marty can do that. Marty can find weed. My dog Tonka can do it. I don't drink it. I haven't had a drink in years either. That stuff sucks. Alcohol. It is sort of weird that like dubage is illegal some places still, and alcohol is legal just about everywhere. The model boat in the background, a friend of mine that's an artist in New York City named Eric Lindvik gave it to me. I believe he found it in Kansas City, and I said, that's really sweet. And then he was closing down his studio, moving to a different one. And he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, sure. He also gave me that painting, like, it's in the back of the alien thing. You can't see that. Yeah, that boat's real sweet. I thought about redoing it, but I might just, like, hang it from the ceiling. Yeah, I am too. If I had one beer or something, I would want. I was telling this to Katya just last night, I think. Like, there were no days that I would just have like one. Maybe if I was real hungover, I might sleep the whole day until 6 or something, and then I'd get up with a headache, and then I'd have a beer or 2 or 3. Maybe I could get to a 6-pack or something. But there were no days that were free of hangover or drunkenness. Was I functioning? Well, that depends. Like I would get up and go to work. I was also a bartender and would drink at work. Alcohol's pretty gross. It's pretty rough on your body. I just remember waking up with a hangover for, God, years upon years upon years. It was like every day I'd wake up, I'd have the shakes, I'd be like a wreck. Had that terrible feeling of like, what kind of ass did I make out of myself last night? See, now, if I make an ass out of myself, I know what I'm doing. It's totally different. Fix my glasses, why? I don't want to. Why don't you fix them? Every day, man, Not So Slim, I would wake up and it'd be like, oh my God, what did I say? Or what did I do? Just this like underlying feeling of like embarrassment, And I, when you're drunk, you sort of think that you're smart or something. But when I'm around people that drink now, like I'm thinking about my one friend who are real equal, and then when he drinks, like his IQ drops 15, 20 points. At least. He's an idiot. He turns into an idiot. And that's how all drunks are. I lived with a woman that was a drinker, 98-pound girl, right? Would drink a bottle of wine. She'd open up a bottle of wine every night. Just, as soon as she had one glass, she was like different. She was totally different. Like just sort of an idiot, Soda is pretty nasty too, all that sugar. I agree. Definitely, it's gross. It is. It's not good for you. It's horrible for you. It turns people into gives people type 2 diabetes and stuff, and like rots your teeth out. You're addicted to non-carbonated juice. That's sugar. I was told don't drink that non-carbonate. Don't drink juice, because juice is all sugar, and it isn't a complex carb at that point. Like it's okay to have fruit because you have to break down, the fruit that, like an orange. You eat the orange, you have to break that down, or you eat an apple, you eat the skin. So your body's using energy, but when it's just juice, it's like one of the worst things. Like, I was told by the doctor, I was pre-diabetic for a while, and then I changed my diet, and one of the pieces of paper that they gave me was like, it said on there, like, don't drink fruit juice. It's not a complex carb. Like, it's okay to have fruit, but you aren't doing yourself any favor by having, like, I would drink, like, maybe like you too, like I get a thing of orange juice and I'll drink the whole thing during the day. It's the sugar. It's this sugar people get addicted to. It's not good. Like, our food, my biggest addictions are, yeah, you're a big dude. You do. You're a pretty big dude. Yeah, but you could change your diet like I did, man. You're bigger than me. But I mean, like, I have a smaller frame, so I lost 20 pounds. My body mass index is 19.5 now, and I'm at about 125, where I was at 140, 145, around there. So I lost 20 pounds by changing my diet. I dropped sugar as much as possible. I still eat fruit. That's true. I still eat fruit. But I dropped sugar, like I don't eat candy anymore. And a lot of vegetables. Like, once you stop doing it, like, you could get used to eating the vegetables. Vegetables are good. I was just so used to eating garbage that, like, it takes a little bit. Like candy, I don't eat candy anymore, but I do eat chocolate. But I eat chocolate as food. Like, I'll eat 85 to 95% chocolate. So it's very low in sugar, where I would eat Snickers bars and stuff like that before. Kit Kats, Reese's. I'd get the large ones, the king size. I'd eat 2 of those for lunch and stuff. I loved rice pudding. I would always eat rice pudding at least once or twice a week. The transition to unhealthy to healthy is hard once you start feeling good. Yeah, it's all about the diet, like getting used to the diet. And I had a problem with, like, cooking vegetables, which it's been very helpful watching Katya cook vegetables. So I feel more comfortable about it. She still does most of the cooking of the vegetables, which is great. But once you transition into it, like I was just saying this morning, I was talking to Katya about, like, instead of cow milk, I drink almond milk, and it seems just as good as cow milk now. I don't even like think about it. But if I if I got like rice dream or something that's sort of sweeter, then I sort of notice the difference, and it's like it's totally noticeable. But the almond milk that I get at Wegmans is like it's very similar, sort of. It just reminds me of cow milk. Oat milk is good. We had that recently, and it was pretty tasty. It's sort of pricey. I'll probably get some of that again. I almost got that last time I was at the store. I liked it. I liked it. Oat milk is pretty good. Um, oats. Oats are another example. Like oats, when it's a complex carb. It's high in carbs. It's very dense in carbs, but it's a complex carb, so it's okay. I just got those. With what? Um, we have like brown button mushrooms in there. Those things. Um, I really ever buy shiitake or anything. Sometimes I think that I have in the freezer. I have some some dried, like what are those? The things that like grow in the springtime in May. You know what I'm talking about? Those mushrooms. Morels. I have some morels. I'll buy those occasionally, but the store really doesn't have too much of a. They don't have too much of a choice of like mushrooms. I like mushrooms, so I'll eat them raw. I'll just go in there and grab one out of the fridge. I've always done that. Sometimes I'll take like the brown button mushrooms, rip off the stem, and then pour like some salad dressing in there and eat it that way. I don't know if you were talking about the same kind of mushrooms, though. That's what I was talking about. Diagnose me. And sugar and carbs. Don't do it. Toxic, change that diet. Don't eat sugar. Lower your carbs. You're pretty big. You could, well, you could lose some, right? We could all do, well, not me. I can't lose anymore now. You could probably lose a little. You're looking good though. Last time I saw you, you're looking healthy. Did you change your diet a lot, Toxic, or are you still doing some of the bad shit? I've lost 10 pounds within 2 months. There you go. Yeah. See? Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. The trick really is to change the diet. Like, you had to change your diet. If you do, like, intermittent fasting and shit like that, that's what I used to do. That doesn't work. You just change your whole diet, and then over a longer period, over 2 years, I lost 20 pounds. And now seem like I'm pretty stable down here at like 125. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Toxic, you know this. It's weird giving up sugar. It's addictive. Sugar was the hardest thing for me to give up. It was like, man, I craved all that stuff. Yeah, I am slimmer. I lost 20 pounds, man. Yeah, I'm down to 125, flyweight. But I mean, I remember I was 2 months into it, and I'm like, am I ever gonna lose the craving of sugar? And then recently, over the last 2 years, I was craving sticky buns, and I'm down to 125. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go get that hernia operation. I'm gonna get a thing of sticky buns at Wegmans, and we got them, and I ate them. And I got them knowing that I was just going to eat them, and it was sort of a 2-year thing, and I wasn't going to start eating sugar again. After I ate the sticky buns, it was like I had the craving for like a week and a half. Like I kept thinking about like sugar again. So it rears its ugly head. I'm back to how I was, and I'm fine with, I don't need sticky buns or any of that crap, but if you screw up, just stop eating that crap for sure. I don't know. I'll probably be another 2 years before I have sticky buns again. I don't know, something like that. I don't want to. I dealt with this crap nearly 10 years. My thyroid was doing all this last year. I could barely get out of bed. Hang on. Barely get out of bed. Coming off my anxiety medication and stage schedule on my thyroid. No, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. It screws up my stomach. I don't drink tea either. Like I said, I'll have some 85 to 95% chocolate, and that's it. Coffee is gross. I agree. I agree. It's more about the caffeine in it than anything. So, if I wanted caffeine, there's other ways to get caffeine. You know, that won't screw up my stomach. It's pretty gross. I gotta get working. I gotta go work with the dog. Anyway, I wanted to show you. We started talking about other stuff. Oh, I don't drink that anymore. Cola, no Coke, no nothing. I gotta go work with Gus. We're doing our laundry and shit. I used to drink energy drinks. I would have Red Bull. Coffee is yummy if it has a lot of milk and sugar in it. Merry Christmas, Toxic. Merry Christmas, not so slim. Not Slim One. Whatever it is. What is it? Not Slim One. Not Slim One is the channel. If you're looking for live streams, those guys live stream all the time. Oh well, I know it's Blake. It's just like you're on YouTube. Yeah, it's Blake. I won't say your last name. We're Facebook friends. But he's got a good channel. Go to Blake's channel. Not Slim One. Not Slim One. And if you're looking for, like, it's an entertaining. They're pretty long. There's a lot of partying going on and bullshit talking. If you're into that, it's entertaining. A band of characters. There's the Iceman. Iceman still around? Last time I was on there, I saw Iceman. They talk about bullshit, women, whatever. Juggalo stuff, whatever. Iceman is my cousin. Yeah, I didn't know that Iceman was your cousin. That's an interesting fact. I didn't know that. Yeah, positive vibes. Yeah. Positive vibes. I'm doing good. I'm about to sign off. I gotta go do some stuff. I used to be into archery when I was a kid. I used to do that. Anyway. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see y'all. Bye-bye. See you guys.